My Gavan and Melonin, and well met indeed. I am Archir Galadirthan, head of the modding team behind Divide and Conquer, Third Age Total War, Divide and Conquer. And welcome back to Divide and Conquer, the Third Age Total War, Divide and Conquer, as we continue on as the Orcs of Gundabad. I saw a comment on the last episode that suggested that I have well and truly shafted myself, and the campaign is all but over. And to thee I say nay, naysayer, for we shall fight and die to the last man. Or, alternatively, fight and die to the point where it's obvious we have lost and quit the game ceremoniously. In any event, I don't think we're dead yet, so let's carry on, shall we? We've got a large dwarven army rocking up here just outside of Dane's Halls. Now, there has also been suggestion that I should move Bolzmug, conqueror of Dane's Halls, back into the town of his namesake and defend on the slopes outside the gate. However, there is of course no guarantee that the AI will actually assault us if they do siege the city, so I'm tempted to wait and just see if they'll engage us out on the open plain before we force ourselves into a defensive siege. Having said that, actually, I'd really like to defend Dane's Halls, because as you say, those steps outside the gate are the perfect defensive location, and if we can lure Thra into trying to assault that hill, we will easily win. And now that we see his army lined up, I know we've seen it once before, but it isn't actually that great. So I think we will. We'll chance that they will come for us, and we'll return to Dane's Halls for now. So that's happening over there. And on the west, of course, we're just waiting for Ered Luin to finally kick up. A few turns ago, they asked for an alliance. I said no. Now they have given us all-out war. So an army is being prepared in Mount Gundabad and the heartlands of Gundabad to head west and crush the dwarves once and for all. We also have to worry now about the rebel Angmarim army, led by Grishnakh there. I should end the turn, sorry. Grishnakh in the centre there is all that remains of Angmar's ragtag nation. And he is part of the independent faction. And at the point that this version, this is essentially 2.15, at this point in the game, the rebels had been unlocked and they were able to attack anyone they choose. So he may well take one of our provinces from us. So watch out for that. What else was I going to say? Oh, yes, in the last Ardenaim campaign, in the last Ardenaim episode, or maybe the one just before that, I spoke of how we are hoping to potentially include the Third Age Total War files in the next version 2.3 version of Divide and Conquer. It's not called version 2.3, it's going to be called version 3. And in true style of my time on Total War Center, I have only had replies back from one person who actually couldn't possibly make the decision, and I've since then is long since retired from the Hex community, or the Hex Council, whatever it is. Anyway, his name's Gigantus, many of you may know of him. He was included in my email as to, can we include it please? And he can't make that decision anymore. He's no longer one of the main moderators, which I did not know. So there's that. Secondly, I've also received a reply back from Ngugi, who many of you will know as the head of the DCI mod, with his thoughts, because I also included him because he is a local moderator like myself. So there's site moderators and then local moderators, and site moderators make the big decisions like ban this person, I don't know, other big decisions, shall we create new forums, things like that. And local moderators do the very basic work of like deleting ridiculous comments, telling people where they should write certain comments, trying to help people around the site, stuff like that. Granted, I don't do very much of that on Total War Center. I am a local moderator, but I don't do very much, I must confess. I do the odd bit and bob and tell the odd person they're in the wrong place, but nothing massive. Oh, what's that retraining? I don't know, but we're going to get it. Anyway, so only Ngugi and Gigantus have replied, so we are no closer to knowing if we can include Third Age Total War. In addition, the icons that are spooling across the screen at the top at the moment, of course, some of you will have seen that Cedric37 is going to release the ones that he created as a sub-mod for Divide and Conquer, and you can go onto Total War Center now and see the work he has done. This is almost certainly going to be a struggle, but let's give it all we've got. And whilst I do not in any way dispute the icons are nice, I like them a great deal. I really do. I would happily use them, and that is I'm not lying there. The reason that we are not using Cedric's is because when we attempted to provide some feedback, he immediately quit. And granted, our feedback may have been a little more oppressive than he was hoping for, but that just did not set a good precedent. Neither he nor we are in the right. Maybe we were overbearing, maybe he quit a little too easily. In any event, regardless of how nice his icons are, they're not going to be in part of mainland DaC. However, because he is releasing them as a submod, I think that is a very good way to go. So if you really do like his, then you can use his submod no trouble. However, we have since recruited Mats, as I think I did say in the last video, and so those icons will be different in the next version of Divide and Conquer. They won't look like Cedric's, not at all, but they will be different. If you haven't been on Total War Center and looked at Cedric's, you don't need an account just to look, but you do need an account to post anything. But if you want to go and have a look at his, click on the link in every description of every video ever that takes you to the Divide and Conquer sub-forum. Oh god, we're going to have to just set up when we started. From there you can get... So once you're in the Divide and Conquer sub-forum, you should see his post new faction icons, and from there you can view them and see if you like them as well. And if you do, you can download them whenever he's finished making them, because he hasn't finished yet. And you can get them in your mod, or you can wait and see what Divide and Conquer gives you. Now, we are going to defend the gate here. But we're going to try and use the curling the units around so the archers can shoot them method. Oh, I don't know, actually, if it's better. Because they're going to just try and push for the square, aren't they? That's what they always do. And given the short proximity, actually, no, I think we will defend in the square. We'll try and bunch them up in the road, and then the archers will have a much, much clearer target. I shouldn't imagine they'll try and flank anyone round, not in this kind of situation, so... Well, we can only hope, anyway. You'll note that in a minute that Gundabad does not have a town centre flag. And to be honest, I actually really, really like that. I think it looks awesome, just as poles sticking out of the ground. However, we have since created, or I've since created, a Gundabad town centre flag. So there will be one in the next versions, but I actually really like the flagless town centre. I think it looks really good. It looks like primitive and basic, like you'd expect from a faction that's lived in a land where flags would be torn and to shreds with the ice wind. Why would they have flags? And also, what would be on their flag, you know? So I think it's quite cool, but we have added one. So feel free to let me know if you think it's also cool. I never really know when I'm talking about modding changes. I always feel guilty saying I, because we are a mod team. We do a lot of stuff together. We discuss most, if not everything we put in. The odd thing isn't discussed, but if someone has an objection to something that's put in, they will raise it. So if someone puts something into the mod and they don't ask for anyone's kind of permission, or they don't discuss it in any way, but no one flags it up, then it's generally assumed that that is an accepted change, and that's how we've always kind of worked. But of course, we each do very specific things. No one other than Hummingbird has ever created a unit model or texture. But equally, Hummingbird hasn't created any kind of UI elements or done any of the like trait or ancillary kind of major scripting work or coding work and stuff like that. So we each have our little areas, but I still feel guilty when I say I. But then saying we is incorrect, because I spent the time to create the little flag. It took like no time, until it was like 5 minutes. But then I still just feel guilty about it. But then I suppose I do say specifically when others do things. So if the Elite Dwarf does something, I don't say we have created a Berserkle campaign strategy map model. I say the Elite Dwarf has. So I suppose I should be I should toot my own horn a little bit more than I do, is what I'm saying, I think. I'm always wary I'm almost too wary to appear vain or selfish or brash. Why have you just walked over there? I was just moving you to be slightly more central, and you've gone on a massive mission. Stupid idiots. Right, archers. You are going to be able to fire at will as soon as you see anyone coming up that hill. Javelins, however, please do not fire at will until we get real use out of you. Right, here they come. Eredluin Militia. Firebeard Warriors. Oh, there's some proper ones running around in there. Tumunzahar Nobles. There's some pikes coming through, the buggers. Siege crews still man the small iron tanks that the dwarves have as battering rams, which look cool. But the ballista crews still stand there. We could always change the model of the ballista crew, I think. Yes. It works the same as units. So every dwarven unit could have their own shared ballista. But I don't know if we know how to do that. I've never even looked into editing siege equipment. Our archers are firing particularly archy, and I don't like that. What are we on? 2%. Right, javelins, you are free to set and fire, because when they actually arrive at us, they're going to be bunched up. Nice. Archers. Shoot those that stand behind. Our finest hold the line. Bolg's champions emblazoned with the great gate of Gundabad. Hopefully they can keep these stunted folk at bay. Are they flanking? It looks like they might be sort of thinking about it, but not really committing. That's just firing. For the videos this week, by the way, I hope to do a developer diary. Well, I don't hope to. I certainly will do a developer diary. No matter how big or small it is, I'm going to do a developer diary. And then I also hope to do the other human archer, the other archer top 10 video, the one related to humans. Pertaining to humans is a better phrase to use there. Right, let's get the javelins out. Get the snowwalks in. Equally, you javelins, come and stand over here. And archers there, move further forward. Because I think if there's less things in the way, they might do less arcing shots. A little. A little less, but not massive. But they've lost 10% of their army, though, which is always good. Shoot those Eredluan militia down there. Bolg's champions really holding them in.
Defeat seems almost certain.
Nah, shut your face, mate. 1% plays 12. Defeat is far from certain. Oh, and our archers are getting better shots now. It's the Tumunzahar nobles that are the threat, though, isn't it? Spearmen stand a little further away so that the raiders get in there first. I'd really love to have flanked, but they've got both sides covered. Bloody pikemen. Are our archers out? Yep. Right, this is it then, everyone. It's now a melee-only fight. Prepare for it. Get the archers to be the last reserve, though. We don't want those in the... Don't want those fools getting in the way. Right, of course, our forces of Angmar. Charge the boogers. We've got a nice solid line, though. They haven't pushed... They haven't used their mass to just blunder their way through us. Excuse me, sorry. I'm still have a bloody cough. Very frustrating.
Defeat seems almost certain.
No. No, it doesn't seem almost certain. Unless those Tumunzahar nobles are really doing a number on us. But I don't... Surely they're not. Right, get the next halberd unit in position. I suppose we have got to kill all of that once we're done here. But then we got the timer in our favour. It's already at half mast. Oh, and they've got units routing. Oh, if we can win this, this is going to be a monumental victory. And may well spell doom for Eredluan. Pardon my voice break. As a whole. Because I think this is the bulk of Eredluan's armies. That's why they were so eager for an alliance. Can you imagine if we can defeat Eredluan straight after this?
For defeat seems almost certain.
I'll be all over that. Only one more armor-piercing warrior remains in the masses there. 1,000 gold coins for the orc who brings me this dwarf's head. I think we're gonna do it, you know.
Something changes in the course of battle. For defeat seems almost certain.
Let's not forget that the ballistae, or the ballista crews, sorry, are not really a factor. They will die once all of these others are dead. But their number is, of course, included in the stat. So we've only actually got to kill these few down here. And the general is definitely in amongst the melee at the moment, which means he's got a very high chance of death. Send in the next fresh batch. And it's only really the Tamundahar nobles that are pushing through. How many of them are left? 12. There were 20 a moment ago, so we are winning. Sheer numbers will do it. And we've got our own general, and they're a good unit, the General's Bodyguard. So I'm not overly concerned. Oh, and the nobles are even running away. That always helps your cause, doesn't it? Flanking on the side. Perfect timing. Get the archers down. We will use those shortly.
Defeat seems almost certain.
Oh, this narrator is totally on the Dwarven side. How much are they paying you? Flank on the sides. Really surround the remaining ones. Yes! Yes! Yes, 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 yes. And mass routing ensues. Now, I'm not sure we'll be able to hold the pikes back. But now is probably a good opportunity to send at least some units around the edge.
Pray something changes in the course of battle, for defeat seems almost certain.
Take the javelins with you. But unfortunately, of course, the pikes are really very good, so we probably should have stood still and not stoked the beast. Now all 3 pike units are coming for us. Just going to form a wall of... We're not going to be able to defeat it.
Defeat seems almost certain.
No, changed my mind. Come back. You guys are unfortunately going to die. We're going to have to play out the timer here, I think, to win this one. Snowhawk archers are now going to be holding our line. Oh, gods above. It's not the end of the world, though. We just got to play the time. We just got to play the time. Ah, the pikes. The pikes are the thing that are going to change everything, aren't they?
Seems almost certain.
Bugger. Go on, get involved, General. You're the one that's going to do the killing.
Only half the enemy force remains.
Oh no, they're massacring us. They're not even... They're literally just throwing their bodies at it and they're managing to kill us. Ah, we are going to bloody lose now, aren't we? Because of the pikes. We are wholly outnumbered and surrounded. They've just gone for the square. Why did... The general died, and then all of a sudden, all of the others suddenly decided they needed the square. Excuse me, sorry. We aren't going to win. This is the end. But a bloody valiant fight, nevertheless, though. I wonder if charging the pikes really made all that much difference, or if the fate was sealed, the pikes were going to come for us anyway. I don't know. Come on, come on. Just stay alive. Just stay alive and we win this. Focus on the militia. Or whoever's fighting you here.
Almost certain.
18. Come on. No! No, it's over then. Although if we can survive, if these guys can just hold on.
Has command of the city.
No, we're gonna hold it. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. We might hold it with no garrison, but the backup army is coming. And the dwarves will be pushed back to the Blue Mountains. Oh, come on, there's only 5 of you. A minute. Survive for a minute. I think you're going to do it. Don't count your chickens until they've been plucked and are in the pie.
The day is done, and we must settle.
Yes! Yes! Grishnakh, you will live in infamy. 291 kills leading from the front and dying like a true Snowhawk. 245 kills Snowhawk Raiders. Well bloody done, everyone. Phenomenal. We've held the town. And we shall have to rename it Grishnakh in his honour. I don't know what else we can name it, though. Orcs, I don't know any black speech. Because, I mean, I don't think there really is much. There's hardly any known. well, Barad-dûr used to have a name in the Black Speech because the orcs speak to each other about it. When the orcs that are killed by AMR's roving band. Is it AMR's roving band? It's not, is it? They're not killed by AMR. The whole thing doesn't happen, does it?
No,
the orcs that have got Merry and Pippin,
spare us.
they bump into some other orcs. And they use the term for the Dark Tower in Black Speech, and I can't remember what it is. I think it's something like... It begins with an L, I think, is my guess. I can't remember, I'm afraid. Feel free to Google it and type it in the comments. And then we'll all get to know what the mid-name means. About 13 million times. I jest. Well done, Grishnakh. Yes. I didn't include any of his A's, did I, actually? Was it Grish? And then there was one on the A as well, wasn't there? I don't know. I honestly don't know anything. I don't want to just call it Grishnakh, though. That's mad. Let's just chuck an A on there and call it a day. Grishnakh. And that's all that remains. 63 Bolgs champions. So even they held the dwarves at bay, and then the army of the dwarves and orcs were dying all around them, literally on top of them, and yet after the battle concluded, they shrugged all that off, just stood up and carried on as if nothing had happened. Those are some true orcs right there, let me tell you.
Get ready for fighting. Come on. No sleeping here.
This is the relief column, and it's a few days out, unfortunately.
No sleeping here.
But that is what's going over to cover them. And then you, down here, are not being wasted there. You're going and you're heading east. Dane's horse did get besieged, but they haven't attacked us yet. And I note there's a dwarven army there as well, Thrur, coming through the southern side. But Grishnakh is ours, and even if the dwarves reclaim it, its name will be ours.
Can I help, my lord?
Oh yeah, I forgot to send that, didn't I?
How could we have another worthy proposal then?
What are you saying?
This proposal, an
none of
honour
it.
and a pleasure.
At once.
They're not into their map information. Oh, look at that. Aragorn and Gandalf are having a little conflab on the bridge. Aragorn's probably just gloating how much of a better military commander he is than Gandalf.
Without question, my lord.
Oh, and also because Captain
Continuing
Naglur is coming
tomorrow.
down from Moria to besiege the Angle.
Regroup, you louts. Regroup, you louts.
I should say, with the faction icons, I'm sure they will be shown off soon enough. When they're actually in-game, we'll show them off rather than as a concept. But Cedric's icons and the icons that we will actually use are noticeably different. So we're not going for a similar theme. I'm not very pleased with Cormac coming to Mount Gundabad, but if we can hold off Thrar here at Dane's Halls, we'll be alright. The battle that really will decide. Have I just saved it? I did, didn't I? Let's save it again. What the hell? Let's do this! Again, I think this is a key battle. This is a massive Dwarven army, suggesting this is all of their early tier recruitment thrown in one location. If we can hold it off, if we can hold them at bay, we should be able to then press into the Dwarven heartlands relatively unopposed. Now what we are going to do is use the giant stairs outside of our town to hold the dwarves. Because this is just such an awesome zone of death, and we shall use it. How easy is it to set up here, do we think? It's going to be hard, isn't it? Right, also because actually, hang on, that's a bloomin' good thought. Wargs are utterly useless in city battles, but not when you start the game outside of the city. Oh, that's brilliant. We're going to start by just charging all four of them straight in. I don't care if they die. They do nothing in city battles. They're useless. Next to useless. Worse than useless. It doesn't like me clicking outside of the town, though. It keeps slowing down every time I line the units up. Why am I doing that? Just get everyone out of here. Hold on for a moment while it just thinks about moving the whole army. There we are. God, it really doesn't like it, does it? You have to do it one at a time, otherwise I think it might break the game. Who's still inside? Apologies for this. I don't know why it does it. I mean, I don't know anything about creating cities, so this is wholly unknown to me. And who were the last two? Oh, you. There we are. They're out as well. Because we can open the gate, remember? And if we can shut it before the enemy reaches us, then we're fine. But right. Also, we'd quite like to know which way the dwarves are going to go before we commit to a side. Because they may well only go left or right. And we don't want to have a whole army. We don't want to set up on one side for them to just not use it at all and then have to scramble. Alright. The wargs are hungry, I'm sure they are. There's some airborne infantry there. You take down those ones. You take down those ones, and you take down those ones. They're actually bringing the ladders. It's stupid. Here we go. Warg assault. It looks like they are opting for the right-hand side. Excuse me, sorry. Right-hand side as they look at it. So, you're going to have a unit of those to get through, and then when you've got through that unit, you're going to have another one to get through, because screw you and your hammer-wielding god. I know he's not really a god. Move further down. Move further down. Javelins! I'm clearing more space because we want to get archers to stand up there. Oh, actually, hang on. If our archers went like that, because I'm not sure that this is actually a building, and I think they might be able to shoot through it. So we'll count on that. Then we will have spearmen standing behind those. The javelins will, of course, run away. And we'll take another set of spearmen, and we'll worry about what to do with the others. We might be able to flank again by going down the other stairs. But let's get the wargs doing charges rather than committing, because they'll just die if they commit. Pull your wargs out, boys.
Defeat seems almost certain.
Oh, you again. Shut up about your defeat. Take those Iron Heels Mattocks. Charge into those, please. Also, anything we can do to disrupt the timer would be good as well. Because if we hit the unit that's carrying the siege... Oh, has the game just crashed? Yes, it has. Welcome back. Now, annoyingly, that crash was because of something that I constantly moan to everyone else about, and I foolishly did not do it for my own game. But the folder structure that houses this campaign mod is called third_age_gund. And Erebor is famous for one very specific type of unit, which really only until version 3 is released, they're the only nation that, or the dwarves are the only nation that have this type of unit, and it is of course the axe throwers. And I hadn't gone into my installation and renamed the file path to the actual axes that they throw, so when the axe throwers lined up to throw axes at me, the game crashed. And I am an absolute moron. For every time I start these new campaigns, every time I blooming well forget to change the path to the axes so that it doesn't crash. And this is then a customary opportunity for me to talk about why axe throwers crash the game, because axe throwers throw a unique projectile which is added into the game via Third Age Total War. And unfortunately, the way projectiles work, you need to write the path down to where that projectile is located. And as it is located within the mod, and the mod is called Third Age 3 in the base game, if you install Divide and Conquer anywhere other than Third Age 3, axe throwers will always crash your game. There is no way around it. You have to then manually edit the path to say what you've called your game. So if, for example, you're one of those people that installed it over the Teutonic campaign, or the Crusades one, that's easier because I know that's what it's called. That file is obviously called Crusades. So when the game's looking for your axes, it's going to go to mods Third Age 3, and you've installed it in mods/Crusades, so it'll crash. So you have to rename it. by simply installing in the correct way, you do not have this problem. Now, I appreciate some people take offense when I say the correct way, because they know what to do, they know what to edit. But you're like the 1%. Most people don't. So I can only give them the advice that it will actually make their game work well, and hope that they take it. I can't do any more than that. Obviously, we will put as much information about how to fix the axe throwers in, as I say, in the installation guides and stuff for the next versions. Come on, friends. I need you to come and block these stairs, please. Why aren't you doing it? There we are. That'll have to do. Surely we can get... Oh, goodness. No, that's awful. Oh, there we are. That'll have to do as well. Right, both of you run, please, because the enemy is almost upon us. Most of them are going to that right-hand side, but some of them have changed their mind. The wargs have killed 35% of the enemy before battle has even properly been joined. That is phenomenal results. Why are they... Oh, you utter morons. Well, we had javelin troops, but we don't now because they've gotten stuck on something. But that's alright, I suppose. Ah, as expected as well. That is not actually a building. And our units just shoot through it. Right, the enemy has met Bulwark's champions. This is where we need the javelins. Come and get into positions for me, please, javelins. Also, you guys, are you not on defensive mode? Because I don't really want you going down the hill. Excuse me, sorry. 58% of them have now died.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
Throw your javelins, javelins. No, these Iron Hills Matics over here, they want some. Oh, they're bringing another battering ram because the first one was stopped. Right, pull the javelins out. They're not going to do anything anymore. The archers are finished. Get them into the city centre with the wargs. Javelins, you go too. This is my master plan. If they make it up to the top of the stairs, we will then rush them again on this bigger, grander slope. But it is looking like they might. We've got both sides pinned down though. Oh, this is so cool. Fighting like this, who would have thought anything like this could actually happen in a game like this? Bulwark's champions are getting pushed back though. Send other units down the hill. Support Bulwark's. On the left, they are getting massacred. They are really dying very easily. But the enemy has yet to get through our armor-piercing wall, and we've just shut the gate like bosses as well. Slam that gate shut. As soon as you see an enemy come round that corner, charge down this hill with venom. Kill every last dwarf that even dares look upon us after this battle. I think we're going to win. I don't even think. We will win. We have got such a beautiful killing zone about to be engaged. Oh, Bulwark, they've left you behind. Why can't you attack those units on there? There we are. Hit them from behind. Right, we've got our first units coming through. One Erebor axe thrower. He's pretty shaken. That's not surprising. His entire battalion has died. Are you going to come and actually throw an axe at me? What's happening here, axe thrower? Oh, he is. Go on, friend. Did you get anyone? They're just laughing at him, really, aren't they? Right, Matic's warriors have arrived. You guys on the right-hand side. You're first in. They've changed their mind. Oh, they need the battering ram, don't they? Of course. Nice, caught them in the back.
If we continue like this,
yeah, this is going to be a simple, crushing victory. Thank you to whoever commented that I should defend Dane's Halls. It was a very, very good suggestion. You couldn't have chosen a better battle map than this to defeat these horrific short people. Sorry, I need to think of more insults to call the dwarves, but I just really like dwarves. They're my favourite fantasy race, after the Númenóreans in Lord of the Rings, of course. But in generic fantasy, and anything other than Lord of the Rings, dwarves are always my go-to race, way more than elves. I just love dwarves. So it's difficult to come up with slurs against them. Oh look, there's one Axe Guard of Erebor. And he's not sure what he's doing either, but he's gone for it just as the second reinforcing line of Mountain Orc Hunters arrives. Nice uppercut on him there. And to all of you naysayers who say, why isn't the armor of the movies in the game? I say, look at this fellow and tell me he's not wearing the armor from the movies. We still get comments like that. People don't understand the blacksmith upgrade system. I suppose because, and this is genuinely my hand on heart, honest opinion, because the later games have dumbed down the game so much that people come to Total War at the later stages of the game, Total War, Warhammer, Rome 2, all of these games, they come to us with those, and they then think, oh, I'd really love to play a Lord of the Rings version of this. The best one they've got is Third Age Total War or Divide and Conquer. Look at that, phenomenal stats. To 425 kills, Bulk's champions. Anyway, so they come to Divide and Conquer or Third Age Total War from having been hooked on Total War games by the later games, only to discover that the earlier games have about 1 million extra mechanics that have all been stripped out of the game because reasons, and so they just have no idea what to do. And of course, I understand you wouldn't come back to Medieval 2 to actually play Medieval 2. How many people actually play Medieval 2 nowadays? Surely everyone playing it has a mod of some sort. But that means that no one knows the basic concepts of Medieval 2, so we're left in this situation where no one really knows what to do, and we're up the creek. Oh, I really hope that that secondary army attacks from the stairs, because if they attack from... No, they have to attack from the stairs, because there's no back door, is there? Brilliant. And we attacked from the back, and we had to fight on the stairs. Anyway, I must end, unfortunately, as soon as this toggle ends, because I'm holding up dinner and Jessica always tells me off when I overrun. I wouldn't have overrun if it didn't crash. The bloody thing. I don't want that, though. Oh, yes, please. I can't actually use it. That's all right, though. War declared. Oh, that message is gone for the next version, by the way. I'm looking into new ways that we can actually make... Why am I doing any of this? I need to end. Anyway, so that is going to have to be where I do end. So thank you very much for watching, if indeed you have. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Next episode will be Ardenayam, and then, as I say, the non-elven top 10 archers, hopefully, and a developer diary. But until we speak again, dear friends, Navar Naden Penamad Melonin, and farewell.